What is up, YouTube? I'm Jaiden Howland from Inside Sports, and today it's back again for another NFL predictions video. So let's get started. AFC South. Now, this is an interesting division as the Titans got a little bit worse in the offseason and the Colts picked up Matt Ryan. But we're going to start off with the Houston Texans. Now, the Texans, they're not expected to do much, but as we've heard right now, Davis Mills is having a really good training camp, and it'll be interesting to see if he can be the number one quarterback in Houston and be really good at it. Or will they tank and end up drafting Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud in the upcoming draft? Now, for the Week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts, I have the Texans losing there and then lose to the Denver Broncos, but they pick up their first win in Week 3 against the Chicago Bears. And Bears fans, stay tuned for another episode. You're probably seeing all these bad teams beat the Bears. Your time will come, but it's not your season. In Week 4, just like last year, they defeat the Los Angeles Chargers in another upset win in Houston, and then they lose to the Jaguars in Week 5. Now, the Texans fan, you got 2 wins and 3 losses. That is better than you probably thought entering the stretch. And now you take on the Raiders in Week 7. I have them losing there. I also have them losing to the Titans and Eagles and Giants. And then they pick up a win in Week 11 against the Washington Commanders. And in Week 12, the Houston Texans upset the Miami Dolphins, but then they lose to the Cleveland Browns, which, again, is interesting because Deshaun Watson should be back then, unless the NFL's appeal and they get him out the whole season. What I've heard as a rumor is that they don't want him to play in Houston, so that could also be Jacoby Brissett, so we'll see. In Week 14, the Battle of Texas, the Cowboys get that one. And in Week 15, the Chiefs take down the Texans as well. Week 16, Titans take down the Texans. But the Texans get their next win against the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 17 and fall to the Indianapolis Colts again in Week 18. I see the Texans finishing 5-12. Kind of disappointing year. I do think Davis Mills will have an all-right season. I do think he was the second-best rookie last year behind Mac Jones. And it'll be interesting to see how he does. Rooting for him. All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars finished 3-14 last season and had the number 1 pick. Let's see what they can do this year in year number 2 with Trevor Lawrence. I have them losing to the Washington Commanders in Week 1, but defeating and upsetting the Indianapolis Colts in Jacksonville once again. In Week 3, they fall to the Chargers, and they also fall to the Eagles in Week 4 and pick that back up with a win against the Texans in Week 5. In Week 6, they fall to the Colts. In Week 7, they defeat the Giants. In Week 8, they lose to the Denver Broncos, but I have them beating and upsetting the Raiders in Week 9. And in Week 10, they fall to the Chiefs. So already, as a Jaguars fan, you have 4 wins at the bye week, which isn't that bad. In Week 12, though, they do lose to the Baltimore Ravens and then beat the Detroit Lions. Unfortunately for the Jaguars, I see them, that's their last win of the season, as they finish off their season getting swept by the Titans in Week 14 and 18 and losing to the Cowboys, Jets, and Texans. A 5-12 season, 2 more wins than they did last year, and it's going to be another sad season in Jacksonville, but it'll be happy if Trevor Lawrence could take another step in his progression and has a good year. Sure, the Titans had a rough exit in the playoffs to the Bengals. Sure, Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks, but I do think the Titans are being overlooked by a lot, especially since they've been really, really good the past couple of years. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year, and it feels like every year it's always like the Colts are going to win the division, and then the Titans come back and win it. Well, I do think the Colts will win the division, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but I do think the Titans are still a really, really good team. In Week 1, they take on the New York Giants, and they get a win there. In Week 2, they defeat the Buffalo Bills. Week 3, they do fall to the Las Vegas Raiders at home, and then they pick up 2 wins against the Colts and Commanders. And in their early Week 6 bye, they have 4 wins and 1 loss. Pretty good. In Week 7, though, they do fall to the Colts and split the series. But in Week 8, they pick up a win against the Houston Texans. For the past couple of years, the Titans have been really good at upsetting the Chiefs, but not this year as they fall to the Chiefs and fall to the Broncos as well. In Week 11, they also fall to the Packers. But in Week 12, they pick up a win against the Bengals and get revenge for last year in the playoffs. Week 13, A.J. Brown gets his revenge against the Titans, and they get a win there. The Eagles do over the Titans. But the Titans do pick up another win against the Jaguars. lose to the Chargers, and then pick up another win against the Texans. In Week 17, they lose to the Dallas Cowboys, and now sitting at 8-8. They have to play Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Kind of feels like the Colts last season, but the Titans get the better of the Jaguars, and they finish 9-8, which could or could not be good for a playoff spot. As mentioned before, I'll be announcing that at a later date. All right, Colts fans, get up and celebrate. I have you guys winning the division. I think Matt Ryan will be really good for the Colts, and I think he'll have a solid year. And I think he has what it takes to get them to the playoffs, kind of like Phillip Rivers did in 2020. So let's get underway. The Colts defeat the Houston Texans, and then they get upset by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And a rough term early, just like last season, as they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, Tennessee Titans, and Denver Broncos. That's 1-4 for the Colts. And just relax, because you got to win against the Jaguars in Week 6, a win against the Titans in Week 7, and a win against the Commanders in Week 8. So that's a good 3-game winning streak at the trade deadline. In Week 9, they lose to the New England Patriots, but they defeat the Las Vegas Raiders in Week 10, which is a Yannick Ngakoue revenge game. Philadelphia comes to town in Week 11 as the Colts get a win there, and they get Pittsburgh next week and get another win. In Week 13, they lose to the Dallas Cowboys, but that's their only loss for the rest of the season as they head into their bye week in the thick of a playoff race. And the last 4 weeks are amazing. They beat the Vikings on the road, then they come home and take down the Chargers, then they beat the Giants on the road, and finish with a win against the Houston Texans, 11-6, first place in the AFC South, and a playoff berth for the Indianapolis Colts under Matt Ryan. Congratulations, guys. You got the best out of me. All right, guys, I saved the best division for last. Next episode, I'll be going over the AFC West. So thank you guys for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, thank you guys for watching and liking and commenting as well. Definitely comment your opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed the quicker episode. So if you guys have any suggestions or you agree with my opinions, let me know in the comments. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well so you don't miss any episode of Inside Sports. I'm Jaiden Howland, and the NFL is back, preseason edition. But still, it's back. Have a great night.